Hello. We are getting ready to start chapter 2, and that is titled Growing and Changing. So, in chapter 2, it explains the physical, social, emotional, intellectual, and moral changes an adolescent can expect as he or she develops to maturity. It also discusses developing a realistic concept, self concept, and healthy self esteem, in part by accepting and appreciating oneself and by helping others succeed. It describes maturity as an ongoing, lifelong process of personal development. In this chapter, you should have already looked up your vocabulary words, and here are your vocabulary words. And then you also need the definition that goes along with that. Okay, and the first section, it starts with changes in your life. Why is this important? Was the question that I asked in class. So why is this important to know about growing and changing? I think it's important, a lot of people said, because we're in times where we're learning more things, and it's important to understand ourselves, to be able to be more confident in life. And what does confidence bring? Confidence brings a worker, a future worker, or you do better in high school, or you do better in college. You are possibly, understanding yourself as well. It just lets you be a better person overall, which is what the class was saying this week about this. So the first one we're going to talk about, it says here, the first paragraph, I can't believe how time flies. Only yesterday we were kids playing in a sandbox. A childhood friend tells you. The years from birth to adolescence, the stage of growth between childhood and adulthood, is a period of amazing changes. During adolescence, you'll change faster than you ever will again. In the first section, I want you to write down physical changes. So you can box that in or underline it. So this should be on your notes right now. And in this section, it starts by saying your body's rapid changes during adolescence impact the way you think and feel about yourself. They also deeply affect your relationship with others. Learning about adolescence helps you better understand and deal with so many changes. Adolescence begins with puberty, the time when teens start to develop the physical characteristics of men and women. For girls, the start of menstruation, a monthly discharge of blood from the uterus, is an early sign that puberty has begun. For boys, the reproductive system begins reproducing sperm. Both boys and girls usually experience a growth spurt or rapid increase in height. And that is what I want you to write in your notes. Both girls and boys usually experience a growth spurt or rapid increase in height. Girls may notice their body shape changes. Boys notice facial hair growth and their voices deepening. Both boys and girls feel strong surges of physical energy. And you may want to write that down in your notes, this sentence here. Both boys and girls feel strong surges of physical energy. During puberty, your hormones or chemical substances in your body reach a very high level. Hormones help stimulate body changes and development of the male and female reproductive systems. Puberty lasts an average of 3 years and starts at different ages for teens. So on average, it takes about 3 years, sometimes a little bit more. Many teens worry that they change too slowly or too quickly during puberty. Girls often undergo physical changes earlier than boys. Some look older than their peers, others look younger. Teens develop at different rates, and this is perfectly normal. Changes for boys and girls usually start between the ages of 10 and 15. So write this down in your notes. They start at the ages between 10 and 15. This is starting. And the next page starts here. This is the ending age. The changes end between ages 16 and 20, and I would like you to write that down. So the ages of 16 and 20. Whether you start puberty early or late has no effect on the end product, the adult you. And I was telling the classes here that were here with me, My husband had a friend that was 18, and he was about 5'11" when he was 18. And then as soon as he graduated from high school, he started growing because he was still in puberty, because it says it ends here between the ages of 16 and 20. And now he's 6'6". So everyone grows at different times in life. Okay, the next section we're going to start talking about is social and emotional changes, and I would like you to write that on your notes as well. You may feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster during puberty. One moment you feel restless and irritable, the next hopeful and full of life. Changing hormones in your body are often responsible for rapid swings of emotions. And what are some emotions that we feel? It could be anger. It could be depression. It could be a feeling of loneliness. It could be happiness. It could be you're feeling like you have a lot of energy and you can get a lot of things done, which turns into positiveness. So there's all kinds of emotions that are out there. If you feel down and out about something, remember that your emotion will usually change after a short time. So this is what you need to write down as well. Find positive ways to deal with your changing emotions and energy during adolescence, because it might go away in a short period of time, or it might take a little bit longer. So what can you do to find positive ways to deal with these changing emotions? The book says here to play a sport, exercise, or volunteer in your community. You'll feel better and worry less about yourself. So I want you to write down a couple things that you could do to help you feel positive. Like, what do you do at home? I know personally, if I have a lot on my mind, I will grab a book and I'll start reading a book. Or I grab one of my food magazines and I start looking through a food magazine and I start reading an article, and that helps me calm down. The other day I was having trouble with my computer locking up, so I shut my computer down, turned it off, closed the lid, went outside, I walked around my swimming pool for about 5 times, took some deep breaths, and then when I walked inside, I opened that computer up, I turned it on, and within 2 minutes, it had worked for me. So that helped me deal with something that was kind of negative, because I was feeling the emotion of being very frustrated. So you'll feel better and worry less about yourself if you do this stuff. Take advantage of opportunities to make new friends. Learning how to get along well with others helps you develop lifelong winning social skills. And because this is a careers class, I definitely will tell you that it will help you when you start working socially. Okay, the next one, I want you to take a moment. We're going back up here to intellectual changes. So write down the word intellectual changes. So what are intellectual changes? It has to do with your brain development, the knowledge that you're gaining. During adolescence, you also change intellectually. With increased experience and knowledge, you learn to solve more complex problems, and that's what I want you to write down. With increased experience and knowledge, you learn to solve more complex problems. So as you're getting older, you're learning to deal with a complex problem that could possibly be peer pressure. Like if someone's trying to talk you into doing something that you know is wrong and that you should not be doing, whether it be illegal something that someone's trying to talk you into, you know, because you're gaining this knowledge and you're learning to solve complex problems, you know what you could do to help with that. And someone in class had said, I'm just going to say that you're not in control of me. Like, this is my body, it's not your body. So no, I'm not going to put something in my body that shouldn't be there, like a drug or tobacco or something like that, because you're not in control of my body. It's my body. I'm in control of my own body. And I thought that was a good thing. The education you receive along with your social and community activities provide new insight and experiences. Okay, so here's a review of what we were talking about. So we started about talking about changes in your life, and we said that adolescence, the stage of growth between childhood and adulthood, is a period of amazing changes. So adolescence means the stage of growth between childhood and adulthood. Okay, and then we said that physical changes, this all falls under physical changes, puberty, which is the time when teens start to develop the physical characteristics of men and women. We also had another vocabulary word. Menstruation is a monthly discharge of blood from the uterus, and this is a sign that puberty has begun in a girl's life. We also talked about hormones, which are chemical substances in your body, and they reach a very high level during this time. So those are all physical changes. We said that these changes occur between the ages of 10 and 15 starting, and we said that they end between the ages of 16 and 20. So that was all about physical changes. The next thing we talked about was social and emotional changes, and that was like you're going through kind of that emotional roller coaster with all these different emotions going on. So what can you do? And we said find positive ways to deal with your changing emotions and energy during adolescence. And that is like play a sport, exercise, read a book. Some people play video games to get their mind off of things and to help them calm down. And then the last one we talked about was intellectual changes, and that's with increased knowledge and experience, you learn to solve more complex problems. And I'd heard someone say one time, an adult that's very wise to me, a wise person, and he said, knowledge is power. So the more knowledge you get, the more power you have in your life. And that could cause you to get an increase in pay or something, or get a job promotion. So I feel like knowledge is power. Okay. And that would be the end of this lesson.